Hello friends, this is Yogini Claudia. Today I want to talk to you about Vedic Counseling. It's a fascinating subject. What is Vedic Counseling, you may ask? Well, think about it as Yogic Counseling. Still not clear? For example, most yoga instructors teach yoga in a group setting with many students. But they rarely teach one-on-one, and they rarely go beyond yoga asanas or exercises to teach people principles of life, like a life coach or a psychologist. So what is the difference between psychology, counseling, traditional forms of mental health counseling, and Vedic psychology? So counseling and psychology, the field mostly known in the Western world as the field of psychology, they use a theoretical model of their choice and apply a specific method or technique to effectuate change in a person. For example, they may use psychoanalysis, Gestalt therapy, or CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. On the other hand, Vedic counseling or Yogic counseling comes from the Vedas, which are very ancient scriptures that come from India and provide very wise and spiritual knowledge to people to coach them and counsel them in their lives. So before modern psychology, there was Vedic counseling. Some yoga teachers go a little bit further with their yoga practice and they become more like a spiritual teacher. So this will be going closer to what Vedic counseling provides. So what is Vedic counseling using to sustain their model or the theoretical model, so to speak? Well, they use Vedic texts, Ayurveda, which if you want to know what Ayurveda is, click on this link right here above me to watch a short video about what is Ayurveda. I hope it's helpful. So going back to the Vedic counseling, what do they use as a platform to advise people? Well, text, Vedic text, Ayurveda, and they also use the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is considered the first group on the study of the mind and control of the mind. It's a psychological manual, and it has been around for centuries, and for a reason it's still applied today. It's very effective. There are a lot of similarities actually between basic psychology principles, the way Western psychology sees the mind, and the way Eastern philosophies and Eastern psychology sees the mind and human beings. So it is really integrating these two that Vedic counseling can become a very powerful tool to help people in their personal growth and spiritual path. So let's dive right into the 8 limbs of yoga. So the 8 limbs of yoga are Yamas, Niyamas, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, and Samadhi. The Yamas and Niyamas are a basic cornerstone of Vedic counseling and yoga practice. So if you are serious about doing more of a yoga practice, acquiring more of a spiritual knowledge, a spiritual base, the Yamas and Niyamas are very important to study. So I'm going to go over the 5 Yamas and 5 Niyamas fairly quickly to not make this very long. So the 5 Yamas are non-violence, truthfulness, no stealing, integrity with your sexuality, and non-hoarding. So Ahimsa or non-violence is a cornerstone of yoga practitioners around the world and spiritual teachers and practitioners. Non-violence on everything. You have to be non-violent in your word, in your actions, and in your thoughts. So really trying to keep the peace, be a peaceful person, respectful, always be self-aware of your words and your thoughts, not being prejudiced, not judging others, not criticizing others, not wishing bad to others. Obviously, the other extreme of nonviolence or the top extreme will be killing people or animals. So none of that in the spiritual path is allowed. The other one, truthfulness, I mentioned, is called Satya. And truthfulness with others and with yourself is also very important in your growth. The third Yama is Asteya, or non-stealing. Obviously, this is a very critical principle. Don't take things that are not yours. Stealing other people's ideas or other people's words, right? That's always give credit to whoever deserves it. And the fourth one is Bramacharia, or integrity with your sexuality. A lot of people believe that if you are a spiritual person, you are celibate. And this is not necessarily truth. It's a personal choice. A lot of people who decide to take the spiritual path, they become celibate. Maybe they go a step beyond and they become monks or nuns. But you can apply all these principles and teachings of yoga and be a very spiritual person and be married, which is great, I think, because it doesn't exclude anyone. The only thing that is advised or required is that you use integrity in your sexuality. So that means being truthful, right? Being honest with your partner, with yourself. Don't do things that you don't want to do. Feel comfortable with your sexuality, and also not spending all your time thinking about the desire of sex, because this can be very powerful. It can be an addiction. There's actually a sex addiction in counseling. So you have to just keep in mind that it can become a problem if not well managed. And finally, the 5 Yama is non-hoarding. So hoarding is also a mental health problem. It's in the manual of mental health counseling. So this is when people accumulate things that they are meaningless. They have mean to them, but it's really accumulation of material things that they don't need. They probably maybe accumulate, for example, a stack of newspapers for 20 years and they never get rid of them. Or they accumulate souvenirs or clothes or shoes, etc. So why is it important to yogis, yoginis in the spiritual path to not accumulate material things? Because that's not where happiness is. And I'm sure you figured this out on your own. If you're watching this video, probably you are already on your path for spiritual growth. So you know that material things don't make you happy. There's no other way. The more things you accumulate, the more problems you have, maybe the more choices, the more thoughts and energy you spend on thinking about material things. So very important not to accumulate too many things, just the basics, just what you need. Minimalism is the secret. I love minimalism. I live my life very simple and it has really made a difference. My life is very simple, stress-free, most of the part because I'm studying at night and it's kind of crazy sometimes. Okay, so let's go back to the 8 limbs of yoga. So we went through the first 2, which is the Yamas and Niyamas, and then we have the third big branch of the tree or third limb of yoga is Asana. And Asana is the yoga poses, the yoga exercises that yoga teachers teach that we are more exposed to. And these are also very important for personal growth and spiritual growth and physical health and mental health. Each yoga posture has a purpose for health, to benefit internal organs, the mind, the glands, the hormones, the whole enchilada. So I'm going to do a video about what is yoga and the most common yoga poses, so keep an eye on that video. Let's go to the 4th big branch of yoga or 4th limb of yoga, and this is Pranayama. Pranayama is the proper use of your life force, also called prana, the vital force that is within you and in the entire universe, the entire cosmos. So pranayama is utilizing specific techniques that yoga prescribes to really manage these energies inside of us and life force. The fifth limb of yoga is Pratyahara, and this is the proper use of the five senses. The sixth one is Dharana, which is where you place your attention. Where are you spending your time, your energy? What people are you seeing? How much time are you spending? Are you watching TV? Are you playing video games? Or are you working on your personal growth, on your spiritual growth, reading books, reading articles, meditating, you name it. The seventh big branch or limb of yoga is dhyana. And dhyana is your thoughts, everything you think. Be aware of your thoughts, what thoughts your mind is producing. Always catching your thoughts before they go on a snowball effect, right? The mind is made for survival of the species. So it's a very reactive mind and a very competitive mind for survival. So we are growing out of that into a consciousness world, into a more community-based, globalized, harmonious, peaceful world where we don't need to compete or kill each other anymore. So very important also, what are your thoughts? Be aware of your thoughts. Positive thinking always. And finally, the eighth branch of yoga or limb of yoga is samadhi. And this is simply happiness, real happiness, ultimate happiness. Which is the goal of any yogini, spiritual teacher or yoga practitioner should be, right? Doesn't have to be, but supposedly the ultimate goal is to find that union within yourself and within the universe. Union or non-separation. That feeling of union is what yoga is, and that combined with a lot of other practices and techniques is supposedly to bring us closer to happiness, samadhi, self-realization, the ultimate happiness, which is totally possible if you really keep an eye on all these principles and work on yourself. So that's it, friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to be putting other videos like this on YouTube, so stay tuned. Like this video. I don't like saying that because I think people who are watching these, they are adults, they know what they do, and they may like or not like it or click the like button. But I was told by social media experts to always remind our viewers to click like. So anyway, I'm saying it now. I don't know if I will continue saying it. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful and enlightening and at least entertaining and educational. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.